ワンピースは実在する。
俺はモンキー D ルフィ、お前らを超えて海賊王になる男だ。
人の夢は終わらねえ。
Welcome
to Nerdville.
We'll never find a more wretched hive of scum and villainy. We must be cautious.
Hi, this is Turtles.
And I'm Fanfi. Garp, the granddaddy of all child abuse, is back in this week's chapter with another smackdown. Not in his favor, unfortunately. Let's get to the recap.
This week's cover art is about Ace hanging out with some capybaras and just heating their bath, helping them light up their cigars. It's very wholesome and just a really nice, cover page for a character like Ace. I mean, it's just Ace.
The chapter begins in a Navy ship scrapyard at the G1 branch, where we encounter Officer Branu, the Marine officer responsible for assigning bounties, Full Body and Django. They discuss the old battleships, which are now completely wrecked. Branu explains that these ships are referred to as battleship bags. They were used as punching bags during Garp's daily routine since his youth. Not only that, but we see ships that Kuzan also destroyed during Garp's training. The rules of this training were no usage of hockey or devil fruits, which is a testament to how powerful Garp truly is, even without relying on hockey. So when he does use it, yeah, he can blow up a city. Moving on to Hachinose, San Juan Wolf, the giant who ate the giant fruit, is thrown into the ocean by the Fist, showcasing yet another incredible display of strength. Bosco Shot attempts to shoot Garp with a special move called Heavy Drinker Hearthfire. Garp effortlessly grabs 3 weakened pirates, whom he probably beat up, and uses them as meat shields. He then proceeds to throw the flaming pirates into the crowd, causing further devastation. Everyone loses their composure, realizing that despite being vastly outnumbered, Garp doesn't seem to care at all. In fact, he's even excited. Fujaku then contacts Garp to inform him that all the rescued slaves are aboard and ready to depart. While Garp, Helmeppo, Kobe, and Gruz are engaged in battle against the pirates, Garp informs them that it's time to retreat because of the overwhelming number of pirates on Hachinose.
Suddenly, Kuzan appears and tells Garp he can't leave. This leads to the Marines preparing to fight, and we see Helmeppo scared, Kobe being very confident in Garp, and Gruz asking Garp, is he part of the future of the Marines? As Garp prepares to fight Kuzan, he instructs them to run to the shore. As the fighting goes on, Kobe hears a damsel in distress and tries to go help. But obviously, it's a trap! Garp jumps in front of Kobe and gets stabbed by Shiryu through the stomach. Garp punches back, but the damage is done. Pirates, seeing the opportunity to take down a 3-crown bounty, the equivalent of 3 billion berries, run towards the direction. Kuzan continues his assault. He prepares to strike with his ice glove.
We are finally treated to another Garp flashback, as the guy with the fist is approached by Kuzan, who seeks to become his disciple. Initially, Garp isn't too keen on the idea, because he's Garp. However, he ends up giving in and begins teaching him the way of the fist. During their training sessions, Garp occasionally lets slip some concerns he has, such as his son Dragon becoming a revolutionary, or later on his grandson Luffy becoming a pirate, with Kuzan not understanding why Garp is telling him this. Returning to the present, Kuzan prods Garp, pointing out his tendency to raise enemies, which holds some truth. Garp sternly declares that their friendship is over, leading to a climactic moment where both of them clash in a cross-counter coded in hockey.
As they exchange blows, a huge explosion ensues, and they are both pushed back. The next panel shows us Garp laying on the floor, with pirates collapsing on the group of Marines. During that time, the Marines on the ships are preparing for an escape, but Avalo Pizarro has different plans and uses his island fruit to attempt to crush the ship before he can leave. Kobe pleads him to stop since innocent civilians are on board. The chapter ends with Garp hurt on the ground, telling them to keep their composure and adds, justice will prevail. If you made it this far into the video, don't forget to like and subscribe.
Now we will talk about our theories and speculations about this chapter.
The first thing I think we need to talk about this chapter is it's very action-packed. That's gonna be like what I'm thinking when I see that chapter is I can't wait to see the anime, guys. Like honestly, that's what I'm thinking. I don't know for you, Fanfi, but that's what I'm thinking. It's like seeing that fight in the anime sounds amazing.
Yeah. And on top of it, like in the anime, they're gonna add on a bunch of shit, right? So That's more what I can't wait to see is the extra little scenes that they're gonna add in. But yeah, it was cool to have an action-packed chapter since we've been taking a break for the last maybe 3 chapters. It's been, you know, connecting the dots between the two events, between, you know, Reverie and what happened after that. So yeah, it's just nice to get some more action, right? Especially when it comes to Garp.
Looks like we see the next generation of Marines that are gonna take over. If there was one with, I think, you know, Kobe, Elmepo, and Bruce. That sounds like they're the, you know, the up and coming stars.
Yeah, the rising stars, right? No, for sure. But yeah, we've been seeing that for in the other chapters. We didn't cover those, unfortunately. We hadn't started yet. Or we hadn't started covering the chapters. Like, what's impressive for me is Elmepo. Like, he's like in the middle of the fray, man. He doesn't, like, this guy used to be like a rich, spoiled brat, you know, an NPC, right? You know, in the One Piece universe, a bit like Kobe, but Kobe, we knew he was going places because he had the ambition, right? So it's just great to see, and it's a testament again to Garp as a teacher, in terms of at least, you know, physical strength. Like, I don't think there's any better teacher in One Piece. Maybe Riley, right? But Garp just turns NPCs into goats.
I see it differently. More than a testament to Garp, I think it also shows you the power of Kobe and why he's special, because he's doing it because of Kobe. Kobe inspires him to be better. Also, it shows you that when they talk about will in One Piece, it's not a predefined thing on who you are as an individual. You can summon the will if you can find it inside of yourself. And that's, I think, the message there, is that everybody has that will.
And on top of it, will is connected to hockey, right?
Exactly.
So the more willpower you have, the more grit you have, the more determination, like you are definitely going places. And all you need to really use that to its fullest is the physical training, which Garp is, you know, the best at providing, apparently. So
I mean,
it's a nice mix.
I think that's a really good, like, segue into the Garp training, because we see that Kuzan went through it, which explains like how strong he is. But I think we can also put a parallel that Kobe and Elmepo probably did that as well. I didn't think about it at first.
I don't know.
I'm sure Kobe did that.
I was thinking about it while we were talking about it.
I'm sure that Kobe did it for sure.
Kobe, maybe Kobe started doing it, right? But like,
I think
Elmepo, I'm not sure. Maybe we're underestimating him.
I think Elmepo's doing it because what Kobe does, Elmepo does. There's not one single activity we've ever seen that Kobe doesn't do in training that Elmepo doesn't follow. We've seen it when they train together. They do everything together.
True. Yeah. And speaking of, you know, random Marines, you know, like Django and Full Body. Like, Full Body, I think first time we see him is in Baratier. And Django, I mean, we see him in the second arc of One Piece.
Well, that's what Oda is great at, is that every character he introduces and spends a little bit, like, extended time on, he's willing to use them for, you know, little explanations, little moments where you get to see that character, and at the same time he gives you information that is needed for you to understand what's about to happen or what that means. Right? It was a perfect, you know, little snapshot where you use both characters to explain the training of Garp and how Garp trains.
And that's the same thing with Officer Branu. Like, we see him during the information reveals for the Marine side of things all the time. Like, for the rocks reveal, for the bounty reveals, all those things, he was always there. For Luffy's, like, increase in bounty, where we get information about, like, oh, the 7 warlords or the 4 emperors or stuff, like, he's always there. So you're right, like, we always get these, like, characters that we see from time to time, and then they just come back right through the cover story, like with Lucci. We've seen Enel and Katakuri in some cover stories, like maybe they'll come back, or
I think
what's his name?
Enel's definitely
Yeah,
coming
Enel,
back.
yeah, for sure. Like Oda overhypes them. So I mean, but yeah, like it's cool to get all these characters back for sure.
Aokiji might be much stronger physically than we previously thought. You
Oh
know,
yeah, like, and it shows you, like you said, like it's not only, you know, hockey and his devil fruit. Like he's all around like really strong in every category.
And I will say, that means that Akainu is even more impressive.
Oh yeah, yeah,
because that
for
means
sure.
that he was probably able to fight. Like if he has that much of physical strength, it's like for me it's like one of two ways. That means that Aokiji that Akainu overpowered him, or with just the sheer strength of his devil fruit, or that means that he's similarly physically built.
Training.
Yeah. And talking about Kuzan, like, do you think he's really part of the Blackbeard Pirates now?
Yeah, we didn't cover that chapter, but I remember our thoughts while we were discussing it, and Blackbeard was convincing, man. Like, it's like, what did he say again? Like, what do you want to do? Or something like that. He's like, you're a pirate now, you know, you're free. If you want to betray us, that's fine with me. But until then, you know, join us and do your own thing through our crew, or something along those lines. Like,
Well,
it felt like he knew, like, this is a risk, but it's, you know, it's a smart risk that Blackbeard takes.
The thing I don't understand about it is that there's no, like, if you really want to, he's against the marine system as it currently is because he doesn't believe in it. Like, why go to Blackbeard and not the Revolutionary Army?
I don't think he went to Blackbeard. I think it's or he was set up to go there by the Marines, and this is like an entire, you know, double agent, triple agent
just
type
thinking
thing,
with
right?
Sword being introduced, it's kind of convenient.
Yeah,
in a way, you know.
it is. No, for sure. And it's definitely possible. And I think that regardless, Blackbeard thinks of it as a win, because he knows that this could potentially be a. He says it, like, he says, if you want to betray us, like, that's fine, you know, but until then.
Well, I mean, to be fair to Blackbeard,
he's expecting it.
He's the king of backstabbing, so he's prepared.
Yeah, for sure. He understands.
And he's clearly getting something he wants out of it, information, or, you know.
A very powerful guy. Like, he's so powerful. Kuzan, like, he's, like, as we've established, like, in every single category. The only thing we haven't really seen from him is, like, observation or, like, future sight, but seeing what he does with the battleship bags, like, he's probably got it. Like, I wouldn't be surprised.
I mean, he was an admiral for the Marines, and I've always said I feel like the Marines sometimes are overlooked just because they're Marines, and the pirates are just so prominent. That's the thing with power scaling.
Yeah.
And in One Piece is that there's some things that make it difficult to evaluate. Because,
for sure.
because Big Mom and Kaido are so incredibly powerful at such a high level that it's like, and we assume that Shanks is about the same, right? And it's like,
I mean,
it's like the power disparity looks so large, and I'm wondering if it is that large in reality. Talking about Yonkos, we got a little parallel in this chapter, right? With a little bit of history that repeats itself with, I think, you know, that Kobe Garp moment is very similar to Ace and Whitebeard and what they did, in a way. Whitebeard getting betrayed and stabbed, and Ace just jumping in front to save Luffy.
Is Garp done? Like,
I think,
you
honestly,
think he's gonna die soon?
I think he's gonna die. Honestly, I think it's all
because he's definitely a valuable prisoner for sure.
No, I think he's gonna die because first of all, he would never let himself get captured, so you would have to kill him before you can capture him. I think
it's Garp too. It's pretty dangerous to try and capture him. Exactly.
And the second part is, I feel like we've had for a long time that build up of the Luffy Blackbeard, you know, epic endgame coming, and I feel like that would add an extra layer. Luffy loves Garp.
Yeah, he's his dad. He's his real dad.
Yeah,
Dragon is not his dad. Yeah, he got raised by Garp, and well, no, he got raised by Dadan mostly, right? Like she's the one who really raised like all of them actually.
I mean, a lot of his values come from Garp. They didn't end up in the same place, and it's the same with Dragon, and that's what Kuzan maybe is trying to hint at Garp in a way, you know, in the chapter, by saying,
yeah,
you love the Marines so much, and you fight for this world government, but the reality is that the people that you train and you touch, you teach them the opposite of the values of the Marines in a way. You're creating doubt yourself by your own moral compass.
And he's so stern and caught up in his own, you know, his own view of the world that he just doesn't, you know, even value any other opinion that's like not his. Like he comes up to him, what is it, Kuzan, and he says, Kuzan, put Hibari back to normal, let Kobe go, and get your ass back in uniform.
Honestly, I think it's just, you know, it's the end of that generation. The story starts with Roger. One of the key pivotal shifts in the world is when Whitebeard dies, and then you could even say that it builds up to Wano with Big Mom and Kaido finding their end. A whole generation is dying, and I do count Big Mom and Kaido because they were part of the Rock Pirates.
They're dead for me. They're dead.
And that's what I mean. I feel like Oda is telling you that, showing you the end of this era. I wouldn't even be surprised if Riley makes an appearance and Same dies.
Yeah, I mean, we got him a bit when you know, he saved Boa from Blackbeard, and then Blackbeard took Kobe. But I think we're gonna see him again because Boa is gonna marry Luffy. That's what she wants to do right now. So
I mean, it's gonna be, I can't wait for the next chapter, honestly. I don't know how it's gonna work out, but I think it's the end for Garp, honestly. Like,
yeah. Do you think we're gonna stay on Hachinose, or we're gonna go back to what were we back on before? The law thing is over. The law fight is over. The kid fight is over. So, or we're continuing with, you know, linking up between Blackbeard, you know, the law fight and the Garp fight. Maybe Blackbeard will show up next chapter, or we're going back to Egghead, which honestly, these few breaks, you know, of like really goated chapters with like cool fights and stuff like that has been cool. But I would actually like to go back to Egghead because everything there was so vibrant and creative and interesting that I just can't wait to see, you know, what happens next. And also, you know, the big reveal at the end of Egghead, which we're assuming is, you know, Emu.
I don't know yet if it's gonna be Emu, honestly. But that'll be a discussion for another day.
For sure.
And we'll see you next week.
Peace out.